Every week, Tim here with tonight's episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 5, Episode 5, Disaster. It's really hard to disaster. Anyway, so this is a really good episode. It's another family coming together episode, which is kind of the ones that I really like. We saw a lot of these in, I think it was Season 4, right after the Best of Both Worlds two-parter. And I like these episodes. So before I get too far into it, this is the last episode to air before Gene Roddenberry died. So a little bit of behind the scenes information. So we know, if you guys watched the movie I did for movie number 6, The Undiscovered Country, the director had finished filming and he'd done like a rough cut and he showed it to Gene Roddenberry. Gene Roddenberry hated it. And then he ended up dying 48 hours, within the next 24 to 48 hours after viewing it. So the Undiscovered Country was finished right around this episode broadcasting. Because, again, that movie comes out about 5 to 6 episodes after this one, very soon. So everything's kind of coming to a head right now. So lots of stuff going on behind the scenes with Gene Roddenberry. It is very sad that he passed away. Shortly after this, we're going to have the two-parter Unification, where it has the headliner of Gene Roddenberry. So lots of stuff going on in this episode. I probably should have written it down, but I didn't. So let's see how good my memory is. The ship encounters a space anomaly, which means that they didn't know what to do, so they're just going to throw it out there. And you can kind of tell, I get the feeling that this was supposed to be a bottle episode, very tight and budget friendly, and it just kept expanding into this massive overhaul. So the ship has broken down and the crew is scattered around the Enterprise, and nobody knows who's alive, nobody knows who's dead. Okay, let's see if I can remember everybody. So on the bridge, I know we got Counselor Troy, Chief O'Brien, and Ensign Rowe, the new Bajoran crew. And in this situation, Counselor Troy is actually the lead commander. And it's interesting because she's never had to tell people what to do before. She's never had to make life and death decisions. And you got Chief O'Brien giving her advice, and you got Rowe giving her advice. And she doesn't like either one of them. And this is interesting because later on, when she starts to actually go for a higher position, we kind of do a little, it's reminiscent of this episode. So we got that going on. We have Picard, who, from the very first episode, Encounter at Farpoint, hates children, is stuck like in an elevator tube, a Jefferies tube, whatever, with 3 little kids, and he's trying to make the best of it. It's heartwarming because he's trying really hard, and by the end of the episode, they love him, and he's fond of them, I guess. And it's a cute part of the episode. We have Riker and Data that are going through trying to figure out what's going on. Crusher and Geordi are in one of the shuttle bays where there's a fire that's putting out radiation, and they have to open up the pod bay doors to get the fire to go out while staying conscious to close it back. So a lot of drama going on there. And then probably the best and most dramatic part of this episode is you have Worf and Keiko, O'Brien's wife, who's pregnant, magically, who's in labor in 10 Forward. Some of the greatest scenes or dialogue in that with Worf, where he's like, Keiko, this is not a good time to give birth. And she's like, oh, okay. And then finally he's like scanning her and he's like, you were 10 centimeters dilated. You may now give birth. And it's a really funny, it's a cute moment where they don't name her, but Molly is being born. Molly ends up being part of the main crew for the rest of the series into Deep Space Nine, which this episode gets some callbacks in Deep Space Nine, where Keiko mentions she's pregnant again, and Worf's like, I'm out, this one's on you. And so, I don't know. So this episode has some fantastic acting, just all around the main bridge crew, all of the people in jeopardy. It's a really, really well done episode. I enjoy this episode a lot. Like I said, I think I just enjoy the family coming together episodes. So for those who have seen this one, what did you guys think? Did you guys think it was interesting to watch some of the character developments? Did you think it was fun to see some of the characters in these uncomfortable situations? Go ahead, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for everything, and I will see you guys next time for Wesley's return in the game.